Welcome to this master class. Kindly stick to the end of the class to see how you can do it. Right, your chapter one. That is the first place you're going to start with. Okay, so like there are also provision for personal assistance if you want us to help you out. Okay, please stick to the class because I'll be telling you certain things I'm not meant to tell you. Right, certain things that nobody will tell you because that is one of the ways that makes the work easier for them to do. Right, so I'll tell you everything you need to know. Okay, let's move to the next slide. Yeah. Now the master class on project writing, we have steps and guide to write chapter one. Now the first thing I want you to do is for you to create a document for your reference list, because some persons were, I see some person just gathering information up and down without having a document where they can gather their references, because your references is very important. Some of us use APA, some of us use other styles. It depends on your department and faculty. You should know that. Okay, it's not hard to find out. You can ask from your lecturers your referencing style. So create a document for your reference list. Now another thing you should do is that I want you to reach out to a senior colleague in your department and ask the soft copy of their work. They will give it to you free of charge. Yeah, like let's say you just entered final year now, that the people that just left, that finished their project, some of them have soft copies of their project, so you can ask for it. They will give it to you for free of charge. So you would need this as a model to build your work. Now if you can't find any, you can, of course, there are some websites that sell some of these work. At times they charge 3,000, some persons charge 5,000. It depends on the website. Okay, so when you get that soft copy, the next thing you should do is you need to use that to build an outline for the project. Please, I would like you to stick to the end of the class. I want to rush it, but in the same time I don't want to rush it. Okay, so use their work to build an outline for the project. Now outline, I mean, is chapter one. When you get their work, you go to the content, then you can see how the outline looks like, right? So that you understand exactly what you are doing. Okay, you first of all study their outline. When I say outline, I mean the content. Okay, you study the outline. Chapter one, how is it, how many pages, how many points, right? Chapter two, blah blah blah. From there you can brainstorm and also do something about your own outline. Okay, now you first will start with chapter one. Now this point is very important. I wish I knew about this. I would have used it in my own time. Now the most important thing is that your supervisor, you need to make your supervisor happy no matter what you're writing. Okay, you need to make it very easy for them, and that is why you need the model, so that you can stick to the writing format of your department. This thing is very important, because once you don't stick to the format, the next thing you're going to see is red biro, bam bam, regardless, even though you are making sense, but because you did not follow the format, because you are not coherent. Now in my own time when I was writing, I was just writing, but I found out that each time I stick to the format, my supervisor will just glance through it, because they have a lot to do, right? She glanced through it because I was following the format. So the format is very important, and that's why you need a model. That's why you need to do this point two. Reach out to somebody and get the model. Okay, you need to make them happy, and then it's also important, whenever you are with them, your supervisor, I advise you to use your phone as a recorder. Record whatever they are saying, because when they start giving, so your supervisor will be happy when you make the work easier for them. Sorry for that break. So you are going to use, and then like I was saying, use a recorder to record their voice. Okay, whatever they are saying at that moment, because when you come back for your correction, they'll tell you this is what they want, this is what they want, this is what they want, right? So when you on your phone, right, the record, right, you are getting the main thing they want, so that when you go home, you can easily listen to whatever they have said and source for the exact information that satisfy what they need. When writing your project, just need to make your supervisor happy. That is the most important thing, right? Okay, let me go to the next slide. I'll need to be fast now. It is important that you use an existing work for modeling to ensure you stick to the writing format of your own school department. although the information still remains the same. Now, because of the variances in department and faculty, the writing format may be different, a bit different. And that is why it's important to seek for a model so that you can use it to stick to the writing format. Okay, now let's go straight to the outline of chapter 1. Now pay attention. Now, introduction and background of the study. Now, when we talk about introduction and background of study, is an overall introduction of the topic. Okay, this is the most detailed part of chapter 1. Is the most detailed part of chapter 1 because you are trying to introduce the topic, you are trying to define the concept of the topic. Okay, you can also talk about the historical development of the research topic in this background of the study. You can also talk about the significant investigation that researchers have done on the research. You should also talk about the state of your research. Haven't as Have there been any change? You should also discuss the key words as presented in your research objective chronologically. What this means is that the key terms, you should define the key terms, you should arrange it in a sequential order. Now, pay attention. Now, for you to do this thing, you know, I want to, when you have this point at the back of your mind, because you already have a model, you can also get a subsequent model or additional model. When I say additional model, I mean journals, literatures. You know all those journals. I think is it Drew? I've forgotten the name of the website. Where some of these our lecturers write their works. They publish their works on that website. Now, when you get that their work, you see that their introduction, you will observe how they write their background of study. You find out that they define key terms, they move towards it chronologically. So with that, you can actually use it to, you know do yours. Okay, it's important that you pay attention. I don't want this video to be too long, I don't want this video to be too short, and that's why I need to do my best to tell you this thing, because if you don't do it this way, your supervisor will not be happy with you. Okay, so journals are very important because why you need a full work is for you to define your outline, chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, right? Then journals help you to also know how to do some of the things you need to know. Okay, and that's why you need a journal, you need a literature, you need to model it. Let's say they give you a topic on gender. When you get a model, okay, as a full project, you should also seek for journal book that was written on gender. Okay, because you find out that the person did the background very well. So what you could do is just to copy it and modify it and use it. Okay, but you must reference. That's why I said you should get reference list. Okay. So statement of the problem is the next thing, the next outline in chapter 1. Here you discuss the specific problem that you intend to address. Now, the model will help you to know how to write the statements of problem. Like I said, model is important. When I say model, I mean a full-blown work that someone in your department has done, that has been accredited, that you can get from someone that just finished from your department. Okay, so as I was saying, so you discuss the specific problem. Now that model will help you to know how to write it, and will help you to know how to state it. It's important. It's not just writing anything you want to write. You must write it according to what they want it. You may have the information, but if you don't write it the way they want it you to write, they will just mark you red biro. But once you write it the way they want, they will just be happy and give you sharp sharp, go away. Okay, now the next thing is the purpose and the or called the objective of the study. They are framed based on the research problem and the gap in the knowledge. It must be related to your literature review. Now, when I say related to your literature review, this point is very important. It's an answer to the question raised in my problem of the statement. It must be related to your literature review. Now, literature review is chapter 2. We'll still get to chapter 2. Okay, literature review. So it must be related to it. Now, when you are specifying the objectives here while you are doing your research, you must capture it in your literature review chapter 2. Don't worry, when we get there, it will be clearer. Now the next section is research question. Now you have to avoid yes and no questions. You must avoid them. Now these research questions are going to be guiding your research work. You will use the research question to design an instrument you will use to collect data from your respondent and also administer it to your sample size gotten from your population. Okay, now it is like turning your specific objectives into questions. Now when you look at your model, it's going to help you. Now pay attention. Remember I said that this thing is quite different from department, so this format is peculiar to certain department and faculty, right? Your model should help you understand better. Okay. Yes. Now research hypothesis, these are hypotheses that are phrased from the research question. Now at this point your model should help you to know to see the best practice. Okay, now the significance of the study. Now this is the applicability of your study. How does it contribute to the development of the targeted population, the wider society, the body of knowledge? How profitable is it? Okay, now the scope of the study. The scope provides reader with information on the content areas to be covered in the study, and also has to do with the geographical areas to be studied. The scope, I want to focus on Nsukka, I want to focus on Lagos, I want to focus on the whole of Lagos, or maybe Lagos may be too big. Okay, Lagos may not be too big, but I want to focus on the whole of Lagos, or I want to focus on a local government in Lagos State. Okay, so it just depends on the scope. But remember, I said your model, that is the work, makes it easier for you to really understand what you are doing. Okay, remember, you getting a model will help you a lot, because if your research results are not structured according to the standard format, you will end up getting frustrated by your supervisor and you risk getting below A. When it comes to research, it has the highest uh, grade point. So you need to ensure that you do the best thing to get an A. Now, if you want a help, we can help you handle your project. Kindly call or WhatsApp the number. So this is the end of the part one. So we're going to be going to part two in the next section. Thank you very much. So please make sure you listen, and also you can also listen again. Thank you.